Yes, ma'am.
What was our last class? What we have discussed in the last class? Do you remember or not?
Therapeutic environment.
What we have discussed?
Therapeutic and
Therapeutic
therapeutic
environment.
environment.
Only one member, only one girl is remembering what was the last class. Others? What about others? Let's everyone unmute your videos. Today we'll see nobody is unmuting. Okay. Will not give the attendance. Today let us see the standard safety measures. What do you mean by standard safety measures? Have you ever heard about standard safety measures? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
What it means? What it means? If you have heard, then tell me what it means. Maintaining some standards, yes, the universal standards, universal protocols, keeping in mind in order to control the infection in OT. What are the standard things you have to maintain? Okay, all those things we'll discuss. And how to maintain standard safety measures through this following, by doing all those things: hand hygiene, by keeping by maintaining a PPE kit, and to have a prevention of needle stick injury, and cleanliness, maintaining of cleanliness and proper waste disposable, and proper injection process. There are some process, yes, we have learned in a first year, how to dispose the waste, how to burn the injection needles, all those things. By doing all those things, the standard safety measures we can take, and we can also prevent the infections from transferring from all those things. Okay, let us see the definitions. Some minimum infection prevention practice that should be used in the care of all the patient. Yes, it should be the practice, the standard safety measures has to be followed to the all the patients. Whenever you go near to the patient, the standard practice has to be in your mind, and that has to be followed. It helps to, what happens if you follow the safety measures, it will protect yourself as well as the patient, right? The both will be in a safer side. And from you to, it should not spread, it should not, any infection should not spread from you to the patients, nor from the patient to you. So because of that, to maintain that, we maintain these standard safety measures. Okay, let's see what are the points. First is a hand hygiene. Now, it's important or not? Whenever you go to a patient, from one patient to another patient, whenever you give any scale or any injection or any procedure you perform in a patient side, then you have to do a hand hygiene. Is it required?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
nurses should follow the hand wash techniques. These and all things we have discussed. And the medical hand washing, the surgical hand washing. Yes. And during the procedure, or whenever a patient, or whenever the other staffs or any students, whoever go to a hospital, you should instruct the students also to have a proper hand washing before they go to go in a contact with a patient. Why we have to do hand washing? To prevent the cross infection from patient to you, same vice versa, from you to the patient, it should be avoided. Because of that, we do the hand washing, and only the plain water hand washing will not be enough. You have to use the liquid soap instead of any other soap, like any antiseptic solutions you have to use for a hand washing. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
maintaining of aseptic techniques. What do you mean by aseptic techniques? Any procedure, whenever you do a procedure to a patient, you have to maintain aseptic, free from microorganisms. Okay, such procedures like whenever you go to insert a catheter, or whenever you go for the removal of a catheter, any drainage tube, ET tubes, whatever procedure you want to perform in a bedside with a patient, you should maintain some aseptic techniques. Okay, not only to use the safety measures in a OT, but also in a bedside. Yes, it is required, right? While removing the catheter, can you just go and remove the catheter from the patient side? No, there are some protocol. You have to maintain
No.
that. You can't go with a bare hand and you cannot touch the patient, or you cannot go and remove the catheter same guys. You have to sanitize yourself. You have to wash your hand. We have to wear the gloves. Then you should remove the catheter, and soon after removing the catheter, you cannot throw the catheter wherever it is. Can you remove the catheter and throw in a bedside directly? You have to take
No.
this disposable bag. You have to dispose in that bag itself. Okay. And once you remove the catheter, once you keep in a bag or a plastic bag to dispose, and that has to be segregated. Yes, when suppose you have went for giving a IV, or you have went for injecting a cannula, the threads, the needles, all those things you will keep in a kidney tray and you will bring back to the nursing station, and there you will segregate the which things has to be put in a which bag. Yes, no, the waste disposable has to be done correctly. You have to segregate the things. Okay, why we have to segregate? Why it is necessary? Can you suppose you have went to a patient, the patient have so much of sputum and urinal things, all those things. Can you put in anywhere? Can you throw wherever you want?
No, ma'am.
That has to be discarded properly, right? The same thing, the linen has to, if it is a wet linen, you will segregate separately. If it is any needle, sharp needles, or any contaminated things, you will discard according to the waste disposable managed things. Yes, you know that the protocols.
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday I have sent you. The same thing. As per that, you have to segregate the contaminate things or contaminant instruments. Is that clear? These all are the things, main things you have to keep in mind in order to have a standard safety measures. Clear?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not explaining much, as these are the things you are all familiar with. And the isolation policy. Why isolation is required? It is also a part of standard safety. Why? Take an example of corona. Can you make the patient to stay with you along with the family
No, ma'am.
members? So, because to avoid the contamination, in order to avoid the transfer of infections, we follow the isolation policy, not only in a corona case, but also all the communicable diseases. Yes, we'll say we isolate the person who is affected with that. It may affect the children, it may affect the old age people. Yes, in order to avoid the transfer of infection, we do follow this isolation policy. How you will go to a person who is affected with some diseases? We'll maintain some protocols like wearing a mask, gloves. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, masking and gowning and gloving, as we discussed in our last class. This is also one of the safety measures. By wearing the mask, gloves and gowns, You can avoid transfer of infection from patient to you first thing, because you will be in all the attire, the surgical attires, so that you can avoid the infection. Suppose whenever you go for taking a blood sample from a patient who is affected with HIV, you might not be aware. Yes, no? Because after testing only you will come to know that patient is having HIV or not. So before that, if you don't know, if you go and take a blood sample and if you have a needle prick injury, what happens? The infection may transfer from patient to you also. So whether the patient is having infection or not, the basic protocol, basic precaution has to be taken by a nurses. Okay. In order to avoid all those things, you have to take a precaution. Next, the disinfection practices. Why the disinfection has to be done?
For removal of any
To
microorganism.
Any microorganisms in any surface, if it is in a surface or any OT in anywhere, to disinfect all those things, we use, I have discussed in a last class also this thing. Appropriate choice, appropriate volume, how much ever you can't use excess of these things, disinfectant solutions. It should be a proper volume so that you can use it. Okay. The hypochlorites. These are the solutions which are being used in a hospital in order to disinfect the surface. Okay. Next is a sterilization practices. Yes, you have seen in the hospitals they mention if an instrument is been sent to an sterilization or for autoclaving, that instruments will come back to the ward by a tag called CSST. Have you seen? Have you seen in a hospital there will be a separate department of CSST? Have you ever seen that? Yes, anyone?
No, ma'am.
No, there will be in every hospitals they maintain a CSST department where all the sterilization autoclaving processes takes place. Okay, what is the full form of CSST?
Central Sterile Service Department.
Yes, Central Sterile Surface Department, where all the sterilization processes takes place. Okay, all the instruments, if it is a linen or anything, whatever autoclaving has to be done, whatever the sterilization process, that takes place in a CSSD. And every hospital has to maintain that. Okay, all the steam and ethylene oxide sterilization should be checked at least once each week. What do you mean by ethylene oxide sterilization? And you know, all steam in the sense through there are some instruments where the only steam is required for sterilization, particular instruments, whereas the ethylene oxide, it is also a type of sterilization where the heat and to remove the heat and moist, we use this sterilization, ethylene oxide. Okay, that has to be checked with at least once in each week. And all those things next, other than that, instruments, whatever we use in a patient, like endoscopes, anesthetic equipment, any containers, if you use like for collecting the sputum. Yes, all those things. Even the kidney tray also, we do send for the CSST for sterilization. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is the prevention of injuries. How you can prevent the injuries and what are the standards has to be kept in a mind. How you can prevent from injury? Like properly, if you dispose the needles properly, then if soon after the injections, you have to recap the needles so that it will help you to avoid from the injuries, right? You can get, it will be almost it will be infected with the infection, so that it will avoid you to get up needle pricks. So you have to recap the needles. Then the cotton swabs, whichever you use for the patients, and the scissors or the blades, all those things that has to be discarded properly so that to avoid the needle prick, and also you can prevent yourself from the injuries. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is the outpatient department. How in outpatient department you can maintain a standard safety? In outpatient department, there should be a separate room where all the inspections has to be done. Okay, the examining processes, all those things should be done in a separate room. So that you can avoid the transfer of infection from the outpatient to the inpatients. Okay, because of that, for examining, see, for suppose the patient come with some abdominal injury or any sepsis in abdomen, external abdomen, what you will do? You can't take the patient and you can't make the patient to get admitted, or you cannot take the patient to the inpatient beds and you can't check it out. That may transfer the infection from the outpatient to the inpatient. So what they do in outpatient department, at least for examining, there should be a separate room so that you can inspect what has happened. If it is required, then the patient can be admitted. If it is not required, then you can, by seeing and by giving a treatment, and minor, if it is required minor treatment, it will be done there and the patient can be sent to the home. Okay. Next is the dietary services, the food which are being stored in hospitals, how it should be, how the safety has to be maintained there. The refrigerator and the deep freezer should be checked, and the same thing, the rodents, insect, that has to be prevented. Yes, how you will prevent the rodent and insects? How you will prevent? How you are preventing in a home?
Putting in refrigerator.
By using of refrigerator.
If it is spoiled, if it is eaten by a rat or something, if it is infected, that food has to be thrown. If sometimes vegetables which are been stored in a hospital, that if it is eaten by any animals and like rat or anything, that has to be thrown. Okay, all those things, safety things has to be measured, has to be taken in a consideration in order to have a standard safety in hospital. And then next is the laboratory specimen. How you will handle the laboratory specimens? That is what I said you before. While collecting the blood, the needle has to be capped, yes, and the proper bottle has to be filled, and proper disposal has to be done. The proper disposal of the container should be done. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What you will do if it is a blood spill in the hospital? What do you mean by blood spills?
If there is any blood is poured from the patient's body or any other accidental cases, then we have
Any
to
accidental cases?
then we have
If
to
anything.
properly blood by the gauze pieces or cotton swabs, and we have
No,
to
blood spills here indicates if anything, any blood fall on a floor. A blood spills on a floor, what you will do? Can you wipe it off, say, as we mop the home?
no, we have to
No, ma'am.
bleach it. We have to bleach it.
We have to bleach, or we'll pour a hydrochloride solution. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we'll put a cloth so that it can soak it off. Then after a few minutes, we'll wipe it off. Okay. And that cloth has to be thrown in a which bag?
The yellow.
The soiled material has to be put in a red bag. Okay. Then soon after once you do the bleaching in a surface, after that again you will clean with a detergent. Okay. That not mean that whenever there is a blood spills, you will just go and put a detergent and clean. No, you have to first put a hydrochloride solution or any bleaching solution, so that what will happen, the infection will reduce there, and the chance of infection from the blood to the other person will reduce. Then you will put a cloth so that it will soak it out. Then you will clean the area with the detergent. Okay, that is how you handle the blood spills. And how you will how the housekeeping routines has to be followed. What are the standard safeties? Like same thing, the regular sweeping, vacuum cleanings, floor cleanings, all has to be done. Yes. And the floor has to be cleaned with the antiseptic solution. Yes, sometimes it has to be done 3 times a day, because if it is in a OT, as I said, after every OT, the OT has to be cleaned. Every OT, the OT has to be cleaned with any antiseptic solution, and it has to be cleaned with a mop. Okay, mopping has to be done every surgery. After every surgery, mopping has to be done. Is that clear? As we use phenyl, any antiseptic solution you can use. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Mm.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And next is the air hygiene.
Yes,
How you will
ma'am.
maintain a air hygiene in OT? Can you open? As I said before, there will be no windows, and the no windows will be there. How the ventilation should take place?
By the air filter.
Through the air filters, that has to be there. And whether the air filters require cleaning or not,
Yes, ma'am. It's like to-
Yes,
as
ma'am.
it has to be clean, and frequently it has to be clean. Next, the termination of disinfection. How you can terminate the disinfection? The disinfection, same thing as you do as I said, how to avoid the infection. The same thing, you will use the mask, gloves, gown, cap, all those things are the only to prevent the infections, right? These are all the precautions you have to do in order to avoid infection. Okay. How
Yes,
you will
ma'am.
develop a sense of awareness in our hospitals? Yes, how you will keep
A
you
health
will
education.
awareness. Health education is required. Then you will
By
train the health workers.
the proper regulations and measures to control from the infection or cross infection.
All the health workers has to be trained regarding the prevention of infection, and also the standard measures that has to be explained. Then all the precautionary measures, if it is happened, if the needle prick injury has been happened also, what are the next precautions has to be taken, or the next, what is the next step has to be followed, that has to be explained to the healthcare workers. Okay. Prevention of occupational exposure. What do you mean by that?
It is the cross infection where the health worker is infected by the patient.
So what has to be done?
Immediate measures should be taken.
Follow the standard measures,
Yes.
standard guidelines.
Yes, I follow the standard guidelines as we have discussed. Till 16 PPT we have seen now. All those things has to be maintained. Yes. The same needle prick, recap, all those things. Okay, so that we can prevent it. Next, how you will manage the patient with the patient care equipment. Suppose the patient, you have used an equipment to a patient. Can you use the same equipment to other patient?
No.
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 You should not
No,
use
ma'am.
do not reuse. If any instrument which has been used for a one patient, you should not reuse to the other patient. And you have to autoclave if we are used any instrument for a patient, that instrument has to be sterilized. You have to send for a sterilization. And the nurse who is going to do a procedure, she should maintain some protective things. Is that clear? And next is waste disposable. This is also one type of standard safety measures. Waste disposable, you have heard plenty of times, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Have heard or not? The biomedical waste management that has to be followed. And the bins which are being used for disposable, that bin has to be cleaned every day through a Femnile. That bin has to be cleaned. Then the cover has to be placed. The plastic has to be placed on that. And this regarding this waste disposable, everyone has to be get trained in order to maintain a safety. Yes, no, you cannot take anything biodegradable things, and you cannot take human waste and you can throw wherever you want. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What are
ma'am.
the things we have discussed? Standards
It is the-
which having a hand hygiene, proper hand hygiene, and maintaining of aseptic techniques. Then segregation of contaminant instruments, isolation policy, masking, gowning, and gloving. And disinfection practices has to be followed. Sterilization practice, prevention of injuries, and the outpatient department, and dietary services, handling the laboratory specimens, handling the blood spills, housekeeping routines, air hygiene in OT, termination disinfection, developing a sense of awareness, occupational exposure, then equipments waste disposable. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
If anyone have any doubt, you can ask me now. As you people are familiar with these things, so I'm just rushing through it. Is that clear? Or you need me to explain more? Yes, Shrija?
No, ma'am.
The revised portions.
What?
Ma'am, all these have been taught in first year.
Yes, because of the, I know that has been taught, because of that only, just I'm going through just a revision, that's all. The new topics which are been not held, that I will take you in detail. So that we'll not waste our time in revising. We'll learn new things. Okay, is that clear? Everyone?
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See you all next class. Okay. Next class we will discuss the rest of the other things, how to disinfectigate and fumigation, disinfection, all those things we'll see in the next class.
Ma'am, where are the gowns disposed?
In a waste disposable, I didn't send you the picture.
I've forgotten.
It
That's
was
sorry.
not there in that. No, in next class we have a waste disposable. So I'm waiting for that, so that let me clearly tell you in that class. You have that waste disposable separate topic in our OT
Okay.
only. Okay, that we will deal there.